What is up? Welcome back to my channel. Today I am officially sitting down and recording my first trimester recap. So if you're watching this video, hopefully you've seen the news, but we're expecting our second baby. And just like I did with my first, I documented in my notes section kind of, you know, how I was feeling on a weekly basis, and this pregnancy could not be more different than my first. And I'm officially, like I said, in my second trimester, and you know, mom life to a toddler, being self-employed, I'm already in my 16th week. So I'm a little bit behind on filming this, but the reason that I enjoy documenting my pregnancy is so that someday I can look back on it. I know that when we decided we were ready for baby number 2, it was really, really nice to go back to my first videos and kind of see like what we did leading up to getting pregnant, how I felt in my first trimester, second trimester, third trimester, what I packed in my bag. Like, it's all gonna be so nice to look back on. So I mainly film this for myself, but if you get any enjoyment out of this, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. You can subscribe if you'd like. Hopefully I can be consistent in sharing videos, but this is mainly just to share my journey, and it's a wild one. Pregnancy is crazy. So diving right in, if you want to hear a little recap of my first trimester, then just keep on watching. Okay, so like I said, I have been keeping everything in my notes section, so I'm going to kind of just go through what I've saved, things that I wrote down. It was kind of like my journaling method for pregnancy. I do also have, these are so cool, and so if you're pregnant or you have a little one, I strongly encourage you to get something like this. I purchased this with my own money. It is not sponsored. This is a Promptly journal, and this is the complete childhood history, and it goes from pregnancy all the way to 18 years. So I have that for my little girl, and then I have that for baby number 2. And so when I'm documenting all of this in my notes, I then transfer the important things into that journal so that someday I can look back at it as well as them. So starting right in with the very early symptoms, my pre-pregnancy symptoms, I honestly didn't feel anything other than we were in Florida for Jacob's brother, who's my age, his wedding. And we had cocktails, nothing crazy. And the next day I felt terrible. It felt as if I was out in college all night long, and I was just like, what is going on? And at that point I was like very, very, very early pregnant, like 2.5, well, maybe 3.5 weeks, but I wouldn't have gotten a positive on a pregnancy test yet. And that was literally my only symptom, is just I felt like weird, like basically hungover after having only a couple drinks, nothing crazy, nothing out of the norm. And that was also something that I experienced with Ember, our first little girl, when I was pregnant with her, and I didn't yet know, is alcohol. The way that my body reacted to alcohol was just like, you don't need this in your body anymore. And I took the test a couple days later and found out we were pregnant. So first trimester symptoms. With Ember, I was super out of breath and super thirsty. This time I haven't really felt out of breath, nothing compared to first trimester last time. Obviously now that I'm closer to that halfway point, like my stomach is starting to get like pushed up into my lung area, and I'm a little bit more out of breath, but nothing near how I was the first time. And then, that always shocked me, like how out of breath I was when the baby was literally like the size of a chia seed or like an apple seed. Like why does it affect you? Who knows? But I was super out of breath last time, not so much this time. Also, I wasn't as thirsty. Honestly, it was kind of challenging for me to drink the amount of water that I should have been drinking. I try to keep a water bottle with me at all times, but for weeks it was like really, really hard for me to get the amount of water in that I knew I should have been having. I had to flavor my water with anything and everything to try and just make it enjoyable to drink enough water. So we got home from Jason, Jacob's brother. We got home from his wedding on March 2nd, late at night. Like, my parents dropped Ember off here. They stayed with her until we got to town. We went straight to bed, so I didn't get to see her or anything. That next morning I woke up and I thought, you know what? I think I was I think I was like 12 or 13 days post-ovulation. So I figured, you know what, I found out around this time with Ember, I'm just gonna take a test and see. We had been trying for a few months and I got a negative test, so I wasn't expecting much. I didn't feel pregnant necessarily, other than that day of not feeling great. And, you know, I just wasn't expecting it. And immediately there was a very faint line on the test, so I took a digital and it was positive. And then Ember woke up. I went and told her right away. Obviously she doesn't quite understand, she's just 2, but that makes my due date November 14th. I'm a very, very good tracker when it comes to tracking my cycle and all the things, and our doctor confirmed that my due date is in fact November 14th. So I filmed myself finding out. All of these videos have already been shared. I filmed myself finding out. I filmed myself telling Ember, which I'm so thankful I decided to turn my phone on and film that. Like, I hadn't seen her for a few days and I just thought, you know what, I'm just gonna tell her. It was so cute. Like, I'm just glad that I captured that emotion. And then we surprised Jacob when he got home. And like I said, I've shared all those videos. So week 4, baby's the size of a poppy seed. In that week, I actually started feeling some cramping right behind my C-section scar. So I had a C-section with my first, and it really concerned me. I didn't have any cramping or anything like that in my first pregnancy, so to have cramping right behind my C-section scar just made me a little bit nervous, obviously. Like, I was very early on, but that cramping actually lasted until probably 7 or 8 weeks, and it was pretty consistently every single day, but my doctor reassured me that everything was fine. But that was about my only symptom that first week. In week 5, baby was the size of an apple seed. I actually started feeling a little bit queasy in the evenings and started waking up with a really weird taste in my mouth. This week we actually went to Punta Cana with our team, and so I was out of my normal routine. I was eating different food, so I just kind of chalked it up to that. But at the end of the week, I realized, you know, this is probably a pregnancy symptom. It was consistently every single day. In the evenings I would feel not so great. Food didn't necessarily sound good, and then every single morning I was waking up with just a weird taste in my mouth, and I was like, maybe I'm not drinking enough water. So I really tried to up my water intake, but it did not fix it. So into week 6, baby was the size of a sweet pea. I was getting tiny bursts of nausea, but nothing compared to what I had with my first pregnancy. Literally nothing. And I tried to act so strong in my first pregnancy and be like, oh, it's all in your mind. It is not. If you are a mom or you've been pregnant, you know it is like, it is the most annoying thing to have to live with when you feel nauseous. So thankful that I can carry children, so thankful that I can take this journey, but oh my goodness, those first few weeks and months, and those of you that have it the whole time, it is so hard. So I had little bursts of nausea, but nothing compared to what I had with Ember, and that kicked in with her week 5 or 6. So I was expecting it to get really bad. We were still on our trip, and I was so nervous. I literally purchased before our trip any and all nausea candies and like the little wrist straps for flying and like literally everything, because I did not want to be nauseous on the flight, because we had literally like a 24-hour travel day. Wearing a mask, like, it was just a lot. And I am so thankful that for the most part I felt fairly good, not too nauseous, but of course, like, it came and went throughout the days. I started having a really gross taste in my mouth, like I said, but I was able to kind of pinpoint the flavor, and it was almost like a metal taste. And a lot of people said, like, oh, check your iron levels. My iron levels are great. This is just a symptom that I guess a lot of pregnant women experience. Let me know in the comments down below if you experienced it. It was terrible. I don't know what was worse, like having nausea or the metal taste, because the taste made me nauseous. So it was like an ongoing battle, but I figured out as long as I was chewing mint gum, it helped so much. So I literally went through packs and packs and packs and packs of gum. I probably chewed like 10 pieces a day. It was always in my mouth. Week 7, baby was the size of a blueberry. Nothing new to report this week. Still just suffering from the terrible taste in my mouth, which sometimes, like I said, made me nauseous. We told all of our family that week that we were pregnant. We waited last time until I was 9 weeks along. This time we shared the news at 7 weeks. mainly because I thought I was gonna be more nauseous and need more help, and I am thankful I wasn't. But they were so excited, and honestly, I think most of them were shocked because we had just gone on the trip, and I think they expected it to come soon, but not until after we came home. So they were all very excited. I was very, very tired starting week 7. Being pregnant with a toddler, it's next level, so I expected I would be tired. But man, nothing compares to your first pregnancy when you can literally relax and rest whenever you want to. When you have a toddler, that's not necessarily the case. Week 8, baby was the size of a raspberry. Still had the metal taste in my mouth, but like I said, as long as I was chewing gum literally all day, it was fine. I was not having any aversions yet. Caffeine didn't sound great, so I drink pre-workout every day. My doctor approved it. It didn't sound great. Coffee didn't sound great, so all forms of caffeine were not sounding good, which when you're already so tired, like I wanted the caffeine so bad, but it sounded terrible. So that was the only aversion that I had, and it lasted a couple weeks. But I was not having meat aversions or egg aversions like last time. So thankful. In the evenings, I wrote that I was feeling really, really crummy. Still nothing like I felt with Ember, but hers was more in the mornings. This time I felt great in the mornings. I have not had to adjust my workout schedule at all. I work out first thing in the morning, feel great first thing in the morning. It was really like around noon that I started feeling kind of crummy and really bad into the evenings. I went to bed most nights as soon as I put her to sleep, and Jacob was like, aren't we gonna hang out? But I like was done. I was tapped out, tired, nauseous, feeling sick. I have not thrown up, thank goodness, but I felt so sick in the evenings, and it could totally just be exhaustion from chasing a toddler around, but I truly think it's just pregnancy. It's not the funnest. We also found out we are having a little boy. We found that out in week 8, which is so exciting. I always envisioned my life having a son and a daughter, and really our family being complete. So I believe that this is gonna be our last pregnancy, our last little one. And we're so excited. So we found out early using Sneak Peek gender test. We used that with our first, we used it with our second. And we also had a little gender reveal, which I've also already shared on my page. But we shared with our family that week as well. So we found out at the beginning of the week, we had our gender reveal at the end of the week. I was working from the couch most nap times. I was going to bed, like I said, as soon as I put Ember to bed. The exhaustion is real. I also wrote this little blurb about being so thankful I can carry babies, but man, I hate pregnancy, and it is so true. I do not enjoy any part of being pregnant. I'm looking forward to feeling the baby move, but like my favorite is newborn season. I don't enjoy being pregnant. I don't enjoy my body changing. I don't enjoy feeling or being told I can't do things or I have to limit things. Like, I don't enjoy it. I hate having no energy. I hate feeling like I'm falling short in so many areas. That's what I wrote here. I hate feeling like I'm falling short in all areas of my life. I hate having no energy, and that extra pep in my step I like to have with a toddler. So I remember this night, and I literally went to bed. It's making me emotional. I went to bed early as soon as I put her to sleep, and I just felt like that day I had failed. And there are a lot of days, it's making me so emotional. There are a lot of days that I feel that way because I love being so hands-on. I love running around the yard with her and doing all the things, and I hate sitting in front of the couch and watching TV. And this was one of those days that I just felt like I'm not doing enough, and I know that I am. So if you're feeling that way, know that it is okay. Know that it is normal. Your body's going through a lot of changes, and it's hard. It's so hard. Ugh, pregnancy is hard. But when you have a little toddler, I just feel like she doesn't understand. And it was around this time that she started asking me, "Mommy happy now? Mommy happy now?" Like, she was curious because she could tell something was off, and that's what broke my heart. And I had to tell her, like, I'm happy, I just don't feel good. It was so hard. That was a really hard couple weeks where I felt that way. but I feel so much better now. In week 9, baby was the size of a cherry. I had my first doctor's appointment, so it is crazy that all this other stuff already happened. We already knew the gender. We like all these things. We had a little gender reveal before I ever even had my first appointment. It's crazy what you can figure out and learn so early on now. But I had my first appointment. He confirmed my due date. A couple crummy nights that week as well, just mainly exhausted, but overall feeling okay. Workouts felt a little bit more exhausting that week. The exhaustion in my workouts kicked in way sooner last time, so I was very thankful to make it to 9 weeks and just barely be feeling like not myself. But that kind of faded quickly. I feel really good in my workouts now. In week 10, baby was the size of a strawberry. Metal taste was slowly becoming less present, so I would say it probably stuck around from week 5, and I think the last time that I really felt it was probably in week 12, so it was kind of a long time. Like, you don't think it's that bad, but when you look back, you're like, man, that's literally more than a month. Every single day having a terrible taste in your mouth. I also wrote that I was down 8.8 pounds, which is crazy. I never ever imagined, nor was it my goal, to lose weight in pregnancy. I did get pregnant at a little bit heavier of a weight than I was pre-pregnancy with my first. I would say maybe 8 pounds heavier. But I did a gut healthy nutrition plan from week 7 to week 11 of my pregnancy, and I lost weight, not because I was restricting myself of food. I was eating actually more food than I was used to, but I was removing foods from my diet that are common triggers in people's gut health. So I was removing a lot of gluten, dairy, obviously alcohol, added sugars, things like that. And I felt incredible, and I truly believe that the reason a lot of the nausea that I experienced last time in the mornings wasn't here because of how I was eating and because of the way that I went into first trimester with that mindset of I'm going to follow this nutrition plan. And in following the nutrition plan, it really held me accountable to eating the way that I needed to eat. So I actually lost 8.8 pounds, which is crazy. So in my first trimester, I didn't gain any weight. And I don't know if I did last time. I don't think I did. I don't think I gained any weight until second trimester last time either. At week 11, baby was the size of a lime. I started getting headaches this week. I don't enjoy taking medicine, especially while pregnant, but Tylenol wasn't even taking my headaches away. So I finally talked to my doctor about it. And he said it's very common because of the increase in blood. You have 30% more blood in your body when you're pregnant, which if you think about it, that's a lot. And also just the hormone increase. So around this time, I started getting headaches every single day. And at first it made me really nervous. I was like, what is going on? But when I heard, and when a lot of you guys reached out and said, you know, that's very common, especially, and I'm curious, comment down below, if you had headaches, did you have a boy? Because a lot of people have shared that with me, and I had 0 headaches with Ember that I can remember. But I have had headaches almost every single day since week 11 in this pregnancy, and it is crazy. It is crazy. But you know what? I will take headaches over nausea any day. It is frustrating to deal with, but it is only short-lived, and hopefully they start to go away soon. But yeah, I'd love to know if that was true for you as well. In week 12, baby was the size of a plum. Headaches got a little bit better. And this was the week that I needed less gum for the metal taste in my mouth. So it was very, like, I was only having like 2 or 3 pieces of gum a day. It was mainly after each meal that I needed a piece of gum at this point. But I was so happy that that metal taste was going away. The nausea in the evenings was starting to go away. And the only thing present now was headaches. So I was taking a lot more naps around this time. When Ember would go down for her nap, I'd go down for my nap. Because I was trying to get rid of the headaches, and it never helped. I woke up with the headaches. So that was frustrating. It's crazy. Like, the headaches, I literally wake up in the morning and I already have a headache. And I go to bed most nights and I have a headache. So it's just all day, and it's just a very dull pain, like right behind my eyes. Week 13, baby's the size of a lemon, and I was starting to show a little bit. I started feeling a little bit of my energy come back, and I had a doctor's appointment. We did genetic testing that week, and we were able to confirm via genetic testing the baby is a boy. So I believe that is technically the end of first trimester. Maybe it's week 14. So in week 14, I'll just go into week 14. Still getting headaches daily. They suck. They are terrible. But like I said, I'd rather have headaches over nausea. No more metal taste. In week 14, metal taste was gone. Hallelujah. Thank goodness. That was a rough symptom and a weird symptom, but it is gone. My only symptom now is headaches, and I'm so thankful for that. Hopefully they go away soon though. And I have that like second trimester energy and glow, but we will see. So some of my first trimester must-haves. The very first thing I wrote is a babysitter 24/7. And obviously this is totally a joke, but first trimester is rough. The emotions, the hormones, the body changes. A lot of times people don't share the news until second trimester, so the secret, it's just hard. And having a toddler made it next level challenging. But of course, like, I would do it all over again for what I'm able to experience and the lives that I'm able to bring into this world. But I have to say I am very excited that I'm in second trimester. Maybe it's a little bit contrary to what most people say. I know everyone says second trimester is the best. I am here for third trimester. It is my favorite because the countdown is on. But right now we are in second trimester. I'm actually in my 16th week right now. And yeah, I will do a second trimester recap as well, but I do want to end this video by saying thank you for taking the time to watch it. I will show in just a second a little first trimester, I guess now 16.5 week bump date. I am showing a lot sooner than I was with my first. Obviously my muscles remember, I've been stretched before, so I am showing a lot more than I was with my first. In my first trimester I did not gain any weight. I think right now I'm 1 pound heavier, so I am now starting to gain that weight, and my bump is gonna start growing, but I'm feeling overall really good and just so thankful that first trimester is over. So if you enjoy these videos, if you want to stay up to date on our family's growth, be sure to hit subscribe. I try to share as often as possible. This is not my primary job. This is something I do literally just for fun. I share everything over on Instagram. So if you want to follow along on the journey, go ahead and follow over on Instagram. That's where all the fun goes down every single day. I do work social media full time, so that's where the fun is happening. But here's a little bump tape for you, and I'll see you in my next video.
Give me love, give me all your love, oh, 'cause I want you. No one else makes me feel this way. Don't know what